Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, some of my latest art. I'm getting better at pouring these in terms of the quality. These ones are made of 97% zinc and 3% copper from melting a zinc pad. Actually, I don't know if the copper actually made its way into the alloy, because usually when you melt zinc, there's a bunch of slag that doesn't melt. So, but mostly zinc. And then I soaked it in hydrogen peroxide to give it a surface coating, and you can get this bluish gray tinge. That's my new favorite now. I bought some imperfect bismuth shot at a good price, and I figured out how to separate or at least partially separate the alloy. What happens is when you melt 94% bismuth and you crystallize it, the bismuth will actually freeze faster than the zinc, and then you can pull out that bismuth, and then you can make an eutectic of bismuth and tin. It's about 55% bismuth. I affectionately call it 14 karat bismuth. This is what it looks like. It it crystallizes considerably better than zinc, and a lot harder than pure zinc, that's for sure, but still very brittle. But I also discovered that you can add a small amount of aluminum to zinc. Actually, you can add a lot more aluminum to zinc than I had thought. When I first tried it, I wasn't expecting it to dissolve so easily. The trick is to take a pot of molten zinc, wait for it to be completely molten, and then add aluminum. I prefer the pull tabs on the soda cans because those are not coated. And so, in a typical pot that might have 2 pounds of zinc, I can add about 10 pull tabs, and it dissolves quite easily. I usually use some disposable chopsticks to push the pull tabs into the metal, and the result looks something like this. You get a much better, much less slag when you pour it, a lot less oxidation. See, without the aluminum, it oxidizes as it pours. With the aluminum, it pours a lot more smoothly. Another one of my favorites is to pour molten zinc in water. Now, without aluminum added, it tends to corrode quite a bit. If you rub this, you can sometimes get that zinc oxide on your hand. Zinc oxide is very good for your skin anyway. I actually, the other day I had a cut, and I used something like this to rub it on the cut to get the zinc oxide in there. And so it was pretty soothing, actually. With the aluminum added, it doesn't oxidize as much, and so it holds up a whole lot better. And you can get much rounder nuggets like that. And I'm not sure if it's because of the aluminum or because it tends to be puff out a little bit more. With the aluminum, they're also a considerably lighter weight compared to without. Right, I'll have to figure out the specific details. But I really like how lightweight these are because part of the problem with going to art shows for me is always the lugging of hundreds and hundreds of pounds of art. Ah, and so I'm so glad I found something lightweight I could do and bring there. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.